is a very, she's a dignified teacher. Really, she does a good job. She leads them very well together with me, and she's also from a family. As I was telling you, when I met my wife, I looked at her family. I knew her elder sister. Actually, I got through to the family through the elder sister, because her elder sister and I were good friends at university, and I would visit their home in KZN, and I realized that was a great family, with father and mother, and with great sisters and brothers, and I just knew that it would not be a mistake. She was raised by a woman who was very strong woman, still alive. She turned 80 this year, and father. So both mother and father were very strict people who taught them to do the right things. Yeah. Even though they live across a kind of a stadium there in Newcastle. Okay. Where the boys would come over the weekend and so on. They were not allowed to come out of the yard. Their mother used to say, "Why do you want to go and play out there when you have sisters in the house? Why? Play with your sisters." My wife comes from a very harmonious, disciplined home, and that is why she can she makes a good wife.
That's beautiful. So I want us to talk a little bit about...
because remember, it's not 50-50.
Oh.
It's 100-100.
Oh. Listen, guys.
They said an omelette...
100-100.
It's 100-100. They say that an omelette is as good as the eggs.
An omelette is as
good as the eggs. Okay. So if you have got one bad egg and one good egg, and you put them together, you make an omelette, you don't end up with a good bad omelette or a good one. You end with bad omelette. Yeah. That's how it works. So you need two good eggs coming together to make a great family. Okay, and that is why my wife and I makes a great family.
Because now I get it. It's not 50-50, it's 100.
No, it's not 50-50. It's 100-100. So when you come, you see, that's why we have so much breakages in marriages and relationships. People are always, they're in love, then they fall out, and then they hate each other. The same people who told each other that we love each other, they hate each other. Why? Because there seems to be a tendency that when people come together in love, the other one is expecting to be completed by the other one. And that's the problem.
Yes.
So you must come complete. See, my wife came complete. She has her own education. She has her own brain. She's a complete person. I'm a complete person. When we come together, we're dangerous.
Yeah, makes sense to me. Yeah, so before we can talk about the book, which I'm really excited about, and I can't wait for us to get to that part, I want us to talk about your work and the leadership that you've actually displayed over the years. And you also worked along with the late Dr. Myles Munroe.
Yes.
Tell me, when was the first time you met him, and what was it like? Because I would have gone crazy.
Well, I've gone crazy too. It is a very interesting story. Contrary to popular, assumptions and belief, most of the people think that I met Dr. Myles Munroe in town, in Gauteng. But basically, I met Dr. Myles Munroe when I was still in Venda.
No.
Yes. I watched his VHS cassette video. Yeah. And on that video, he actually is talking about the power of purpose. And he talked about vision, and so on. And just from that recording, I knew that I have met someone that I would love to meet, and I will do whatever it is to meet him, and it will happen. And then my mind was made. And from there, I started following him and writing him and so on, and until we first met in 1993 here in Pretoria.
So is he meeting you when you're already working for Myles Munroe Foundation?
No, there was no foundation
There was
at
no
the time.
foundation,
I mean,
okay.
I'm talking way back in 1993. That is the time when
I was born in 93.
he was just coming. Oh, really? Okay. Happy anniversary. So in 1993, when he came, I overheard that he was coming. First of all, the first time Myles Munroe came to South Africa was in 1991 when he came to Neville McDonald's in Cape Town. And I didn't get to meet him that time, but I met him the second time when he came, when he was invited by the Hartfield Church. I heard that he was being invited there by Pastor Ed Raybert, and I then decided I was going to talk to Pastor Ed. Okay, I went and talked to Pastor Ed and asked him, Blake Swart there and Pastor Ed, and asked that when Myles Munroe comes to visit them, I need him on my campus. I was at TNT at the time.
Okay.
I want him to come on campus.
TNT is TUT now.
Yeah, because I had a concern. The concern was that Myles Munroe was coming to address a almost 100% church, white church.
Okay.
And I felt that the issues of emancipation and also the issues of transformation were key at the time, because South Africa was just becoming a rainbow nation. Mandela was out of prison in 1990 and 1991. Myles Munroe comes to Cape Town for the first time, 1933. We're leading now towards Codestana and so on, towards the first election in 1994. So I wanted Myles Munroe to come and speak to the students, because he impressed me as a black man. Watching him, I felt that if he can achieve what he achieved, there is hope for us, even though we were raised in an environment of apartheid and oppression of the blacks. I felt that he needed to come and address the students to help in the process of mental transformation and mental shift of the blacks who have been oppressed for such a long time. And of course they allowed, they agreed that I can have Myles Munroe the whole day on Saturday, and they will have him in the evening.
How important were you at the time for them to allow that? Let's allow this man to have you. Were you important at the time?
Well, remember, there's nothing as powerful as an idea. Everything that you see is a product of an idea. So when you have an idea, what you need to do is to express it. Because ideas are powerful.
True. Yes. Yes.
So, but they are more powerful when you express them. So the expression of a thought is the word. When that word comes out, then that is why the Bible says, "Ask and keep on asking, and it shall be given." So that's what I did. So I asked, and I was not that important. I mean, I was just a student, and black for that matter, and coming from the village. And but what I was asking was legitimate, and it was important. So they agreed, and I was very excited to know that I'm given that opportunity. I went around advertising on campus. I remember that time I had a book. I had a book, Becoming a Leader, which had a picture of Myles Munroe on the front. I took that, put it in the copier machine, and then I wrote the Myles Munroe coming on campus, dates, and what with the marking pen. And then I duplicated those, made copies, and put it around the campus. That was our flyer, man. That was our advertisement.
Yeah.
And the hall was jam-packed. 6,000-seater Janko Hall.
Yeah.
The kids came, the students came, and also the pastors and other people from as far as Venda and so on. They came here, and that hall was packed.
And this is all because of you, basically.
Well, yes, that vision definitely was born in my heart, and I asked Pastor Ed, who then involved the pastors, the Soshanguve pastors, and they were called Mawinzo at the time. I don't know what they call them now, but it was Mawopane, Winterfeld, and Soshanguve, and so on, Mawinzo. And those pastors also got involved. Pastor Jack Baloi was their leader there. And Dr. Myles Munroe came on campus. He taught he had 2 sessions. The first session, he talks about a subject, nobody knows you than the manufacturer. And that was a very motivational session that he did. Actually helping us to understand that we might be coming from poor backgrounds as young black students, coming from villages and townships and homelands and so on. But he emphasized the point that there's nobody who knows us better than the one who created us. So he gave us an image of helping us to understand our own identity and our own image as we're created in the image of God.
Okay.
And that was the first session. Then the second session, he spoke about the 5 principles for personal success. Talking about purpose and potential and people and prayer and so on. The five principles. And when we finished, when we went to lunch, we went to lunch once we were finished, and I asked him if he would mentor me, and he said sure. He was open. He was open for that idea. And he gave me his information, contact information. He gave me his business card. He wrote his personal home number there, telephone number, and and address. I started, we started writing each other, and he would respond. Sometimes, of course, the responses will come, after we've met. And I'll send a letter, and then he will come here before he received the letter, and it will just be like.
So that's basically how.
Because letters were slow,
Oh yeah.
And so we wrote each other. He would write me, I write him back, and the relationship was just beautiful between me and Dr. Myles. And from there, he embraced me as his own child, and I became, as in his own words, I became his favorite African son.
And even his kids talk about you. I saw in a video, it was like, Mr. Charlie Masala is an extension of our family.
Yes.
Because that's the kind of a leader that my dad wanted around him, and that was so profound.
Yes, yeah. So that is true, because we worked together for a long time, to a point where, and excellently so, together, to a point where the relationship became more than just us working together. Me volunteering to serve and so on, but I became a family member, and he accepted me as one of his children, and his children accepted me, and to a point where now they are, of course, adults, and we still are together. We are one, great family. This is their home. The Bahamas is my home. So it's there is that relationship which is great. I appreciate the fact that even in his departure, when he's not here, me and his kids and I are still our family here and the family there still communicate, and we are one happy family.
Okay, that's a beautiful, because obviously now I just wanted to find out how he mentored you, because from what I found out, you are now a mentor to other people.
Yeah,
how many people do you mentor? And another question that I want to ask in that same space is, how many people can you mentor at a time? Or basically, that's what I want to find out.
Let me say that the purpose of leadership is not the maintenance of followers. The purpose of leadership is the production of other leaders. So when you get an opportunity to be mentored and become a leader, you become you owe the debt to the next generation of mentoring the ones who are coming after. In my mentorship program, I've got over 50 people that I mentor. And
is Rendani Chishonga one of them?
Of course, Rendani Chishonga is one of them.
Okay.
It's one of them who it's a difficult one. Yeah, Rendani Chishonga is one of them, and of course, I appreciate the opportunity that you know that you are mentoring effectively when your mentors and when your mentees become mentors to others, and when your mentees becomes resourceful. I open opportunities for him, he says it fit to open for me. But I am more than happy to open opportunities for people without expecting anything back. But when you have mentees who are able to see opportunities for you and open those doors, that is the beauty of it.
So that actually means that he's at the interdependent stage.
Yeah, we're at the interdependent stage. Where a mentor also learn from a mentee, and a mentee to the mentor, to a point where we don't know which one is which. It's like Christ in you, you in Christ. It's like poke in the fire, fire in the poke. You don't know which one is which. There is a reciprocal indwelling of each other. That's where you know that your mentorship is bearing fruit and it's working, because it must always be a two-way street.
Of the 150 people that you mentor, are there any white people there?
I mentor everybody, man. I've got Indians, I've got coloreds, I've got whites, I've got blacks, everybody. And it's humbling to find people who ask me to mentor them, and I tell them, like Peter and John, who stand at the gate of the church and say, "Silver and gold have we none, but that which we have, we give unto you."
Come on now.
So there is certain things that I know I'm not good at. I don't try and become a man. I don't try and coach people on those kind of things. I try and stay in my lane. If you want to be helped to become the best you can be in your area, then we help you become that best, without changing you to become a me. So I have mentees from all walks of life. Some names I can't even mention on public platform, because they are too important, because they lead great institutions. But
so they just wouldn't want people to know that you mentor.
No, I just won't like people to know that they are my mentees.
Okay, makes sense to me.
Because it's not important.
Yeah.
What is important is that as you lead that organization, and we empower you in one way or another. Because remember, even though I might not be good at financial management or accounting or whatever, but I'm good at people factor, people issues, management of people, leadership of people. So I mentor you in that and coach you in that area. And then I'll leave the other areas to the people who are experts in that. So what I'm trying to say is that you don't need to have only just one mentor. You can have few mentors in your life
Okay.
who help you in different areas.
Okay, that's a beautiful thing. And you wrote this beautiful book,
Yes.
Black Sun, White Mother. And you co-wrote it with
Gail
Vermeulen.
Yes.
And I just want, because what's interesting to me is that, like I told you offline, when I saw the book, I was like, oh, it means Mr. Charlie Masala was, adopted back in the day by a white mother. Oh, okay, this is what it is. And then when you go into the book and when you look at the interviews and stuff, you realize that that's not the story. So I want you to just take us, through your relationship with Gail Vermeulen and how it actually came about until you guys got to write the book.
Okay, let's first of all start where Gail and I met.
Yeah.
When I left the CSIR, where I had an internship, my internship at the CSIR was to last for 2 months. Actually, that was a miracle also, because when I went to the CSIR came on campus to look for the two best HR, to look for the best HR student. And when they came there to look for the best HR student, you know what that means. That means that your year mark and so on must be considered.
Yeah.
Your marks must be considered.
Yeah.
Which, of course, I was not the sharpest knife in the drawer of my classroom. I was not the one getting the highest grades. But my attitude was always getting highest grades. And Gail, was part of the transformation team there, as she was leading transformation as transformation manager of the Auditor General's office. And I applied for a position, of course, which I didn't qualify for because they needed 2 years. I only had about 11 months. And but of course, being that positive, Charlie Masala, I applied. And then they invited me. That was a mistake that they committed, inviting me in an interview.
Yeah.
Because really I haven't failed an interview in my life.
Wow.
I've never been in an interview and I'm rejected and they don't like me.
And you're not failing this one also.
Yeah. That haven't happened. So they called me and I answered their questions, so on. When we finished, apparently when they did the scoring, they appointed the person that they wanted for that job who was more qualified than I was. But Gail was one of those who felt that there was something about me that they need for this organization. And that is when she then applied for a position to be created for me. So that is when the position was created, and then Gail became my mentor. She became my white mother.
Yeah, white mother, exactly.
Yeah.
And then she wanted to take you everywhere she went now.
Yeah, and this was in the context of the career in HR. So she started mentoring me and fought some of my black battles that I was fighting.
Yeah. So was there a specific person that?
So then Gail and I would then also become. We became, what do you call it? She was my mentor, and then we became very good friends. And on top of that, then that is when Gail asked me to become to train on diversity with them. So both Gail and I and others were trained by external consultants to run diversity workshops. But Gail and I would then become the only two diversity trainers from within who were trained. And then of course we were joined by Bashir Khan at a later stage. But that's how we worked together.
Okay. So when you read the book or when you actually look into the book, it actually stresses the point that there is a greater chance of unity in diversity as compared to uniformity. So why would you think that's a valid statement?
Well, in this book we say that diversity, unity is not uniformity.
Unity is not uniformity.
Diversity, diversity requires unity to work. So you must get diverse people who get united, and they will be able to do more than just what people who are coming from a homogeneous grouping. When you get people from different groups, obviously you get more wiser, you get more ideas out of that. So that's why diversity is so important in the workplace, because we don't always see things the same, and not seeing things the same, it's not a minus in an organization, it's a plus. And also we emphasize the fact that there are certain things that God has given you and God wants to give you, but it's hidden in a person who doesn't look like you. And for you to get it, you will have to unite in that diversity to be a better person.
Okay, that's a beautiful analogy.
You see, but the whole idea of this book is that it actually starts off where we're saying that this book looks at, we say that every human being was, it's impacted on and has been brainwashed. So we all live our lives from a position of brainwashing. So we've been brainwashed, whether black, white, colored, Indian, all of us have been brainwashed. And we've been brainwashed by the people who raised us. The people who raised us make us believe certain things about other people. You see what I'm saying? So when you do that, even in this interview, the way we talk and answer questions and ask each other, it's all and see each other. It's all based on what I was taught as I was growing up. Because we have been taught a lot of things about each other. So the black South African and white South African and Indian South African were taught different things. And it's in these things which are different. Unfortunately, blacks were taught that they will never amount to anything, that they are not good enough. And of course, the white child was taught that they are more, they were born to lead, they're cleverer and so on. And we don't trust Indians because, we were taught that Indians are crooks. You see, so all these things are things that we learned. We were not born with it. We learned. As Nelson Mandela says, there is no one who is born hating another. Hatred it's a learned behavior. You learn it as you go.
Okay. They say a life without a book is like a body without a soul.
Yes.
How true is this statement, and how can we also get more black people to read?
Well, I'm just hoping that what they always say, that it doesn't become true with the next generation of black people, where they say that if you want to hide something from a black person, you must put it in a book. Why? Because they believe that, it's believed that we don't read. So, but I think if you want to be, you can only grow, let me put it this way, you can only grow as a result of the places you have been, the books you have read, and the people that you met.
True.
That's the only source of growth that I have realized in my own life. Like, for example, if you read a book like this, and this book is about the Bahamas, or it's about United States, by the time you finish, you would feel like you know where New York is.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Even though you haven't been there.
Yeah.
By the time you end there, when you arrive there, you would then, a lot of things will start to make sense. Why? Because you already familiarize yourself. So studying and reading is what we need to embrace if we are to drive away ignorance from ourselves.
So does it mean, when I read, does it mean that I'm brainwashing myself in a better way or in a certain way again?
Well, let me put it this way. It's not so important that you're reading. It is more important what you read.
What you are reading, yes. Yeah.
Okay. Because, you know why? Because there is a lot of error out there. There's a lot of error. So if you read error, then of course you learn error. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
It never fails.
Okay. So I feel like let's just cut a bit. So
Yeah, that's
maybe
fine. You need a break. I don't need a break. You need a break.
You need a break because I feel like there's messages that are coming through and I'm like, yo, no, I'm feeling bad.